लेकिन सीधा रुक कर लेते हैं बैंकिंग कॉन्फ्रेंस का, जहां पर आरबीआई गवर्नर डॉक्टर रघुराम राजन कुछ एड्रेस कर रहे हैं.
Institutions and favors some kinds of ownership, and therefore competition need not necessarily produce the best outcome. Let me start by saying that banks have been privileged as well as constrained because of what I call the grand bargain. Essentially, they get the benefits of low-cost insured deposits, liquidity support, and close regulation by the central bank. I'm sure some of you don't think of that as a benefit, but let me assure you that the public thinks that the fact that you're closely regulated is in fact a benefit, and it trusts you with their money. Now, in return, there have been costs imposed on the banks, which is you have to maintain reserves at zero interest rate with the central bank, you have to hold government bonds to meet SLR requirements, and of course, you have the priority sector lending obligations. This applies to all banks, but public sector banks are further subject to government mandates such as PMJDY accounts, opening them, or making mudra loans. I'm just talking about the most recent. You're also subject to hiring mandates, in particular the need to hire through an open all India exam rather than from specific campuses or from the local community. And you have to meet various government imposed diversity mandates. Now, of course, in further compensation, public sector banks do get more government deposits and business and are in fact backed by the full faith and credit of the government. During this period of stress, nobody has questioned whether in fact any of the public sector banks will survive, because that is something that is taken for granted and should be taken for granted because it has the full faith and credit of the government. Now, costs and benefits, what's the net effect? We don't know. But in fact, the point is, as competition increases, skewing a little way this way or skewing a little way that way is going to alter who wins out in the competitive race, because the margins may in fact be thin. Which then means that authorities like us, the central bank, or the government, should over the medium term reduce these differences in regulatory treatment between public sector banks and private sector banks, as well as between banks and other financial institutions, so that the full weight of competition and technological innovation can actually play out. Now, some of these differences, especially within public sector banks and private sector banks, can be mitigated if an appropriate price is paid for the mandates. Rather than impose a mandate, for example, if every direct benefit transfer is paid an adequate remunerative price, banks have an incentive to undertake the business and open basic customer accounts. So it's important this be paid, and it be paid early rather than a promise which is paid later. If this is done, you don't need to distinguish between private banks and public banks. The private banks will also enter the business and will compete, and the most efficient bank will garner more of the business, and over time, you can benefit from that efficiency as the government by reducing the payments commensurate with the efficiencies that are created. Now, some of these mandates will also become less costly as you use new techniques. For example, a number of banks are finding ways to make MSME loans more remunerative by using more information as well as reducing the transaction costs.
ऑलराइट, तो आप सुन रहे थे डॉक्टर रघुराम राजन को, जिनका मानना है कि कहीं ना कहीं एसेट क्वालिटी रिव्यू जो रहा है वो एक बेहतरीन स्टेप रहा है, और आगे जाते हुए बैंकों को अपने जो स्ट्रेस्ड एसेट्स हैं उनकी ऑपरेशनल एफिशिएंसी को बेटर करने में फोकस करना चाहिए.